No one noticed the day Arya began walking alone. There was no warning, no goodbye, no moment dramatic enough for the world to stop and pay attention. Life simply grew quiet around her. For many years, Arya's home had been full of voices, children laughing, neighbors seeking advice, footsteps that came and went like the tide. She had listened to everyone. She had cared for everyone. She had given pieces of herself without counting the cost. And then, one season. The voices faded. One morning, Arya stepped outside her small wooden house just as the sun began to rise. Mist hovered gently over the village paths. She waited. No one called her name, so she picked up her wooden staff and began to walk. At first, she did not know why she was walking. Her feet simply moved, carrying her beyond the familiar homes, beyond the well, beyond the place where laughter once lived. The path was narrow, the world felt wide, and loneliness walked beside her. At night, Arya tried to ignore it. She filled her days with small tasks. She spoke to herself just to hear a voice. But in the quiet darkness, when sleep refused to come, the truth returned. She felt unseen, unneeded, forgotten. One night, staring at the ceiling, she whispered softly, "God, why am I alone now?" There was no answer, only silence. And that silence hurt. Days passed, weeks passed. Still, Arya walked. Some mornings she cried as she walked, her tears falling into the dust. Other mornings she felt strangely calm, as if the earth itself was listening. She rested beneath old trees. She sat beside quiet streams. Nature did not rush her. It did not demand explanations. It simply stayed. One morning, as sunlight filtered through the leaves, Arya noticed something she had not heard in a long time. Her own breath, her own thoughts, her own heart. For the first time in years, her mind was not filled with other people's needs. There was space. And in that space, memories returned. She remembered the girl she once was, the dreams she had set aside, the voice inside her she had ignored while caring for everyone else. Softly, she asked herself, "When did I stop listening to you?" And the answer came quietly. When you forgot that your life mattered too. That moment did not break her. It healed her. Arya began to understand something sacred. Nothing had been taken from her. Something had been returned. God had not removed people to punish her. He had removed the noise, so she could finally hear herself. One evening, as the sky turned gold and gray, a gentle wind moved through the valley. The grass whispered. The air felt alive. Arya stopped walking. She closed her eyes. And for the first time, she did not wait for a voice from above. She listened within, and she understood. God was not far away. He was close, close enough to be heard only in silence. From that day on, Arya walked differently. Not because the path changed, but because she did. She no longer feared being alone. She understood that solitude was not abandonment. It was preparation. It was healing. It was guidance. When Arya returned to the village, people noticed the change. She spoke less, but her words carried weight. She moved slowly, but with certainty. There was peace in her eyes, a peace that did not depend on anyone staying. Children sat near her again. Neighbors lingered when they passed. But Arya no longer needed their presence to feel whole. Before her life quietly came to an end, she shared one final truth with those willing to listen. "Do not fear the seasons when you walk alone," she said. "Those are the moments God is closest, not speaking loudly, but teaching gently. He is teaching you to hear your own heart." And long after Arya was gone, people remembered her not as the woman who was left behind, but as the woman who found herself. Because when God makes you walk alone, He is not abandoning you. He is guiding you back to who you were always meant to be. And as time moved forward, Arya's days became simpler. She woke with the sun. She walked when her heart felt heavy. She rested when it felt full. She no longer asked why certain people had left her life. She no longer chased answers that refused to arrive. She had learned something rare. Some answers are not meant to be heard with the ears. They are meant to be felt. On quiet afternoons, Arya would sit beneath the old tree at the edge of the valley. Children sometimes passed by, slowing their steps without knowing why. They felt it, the calm that followed her like a gentle shadow. She did not teach them with many words. She taught them by being still, by being present, by being unafraid of silence. And in that silence, something beautiful happened. People began to hear themselves again. A young woman once sat near Arya and said nothing for a long time. When she finally stood to leave, her eyes were wet, but lighter. A tired man once walked beside Arya without speaking. By the time they parted, his shoulders had relaxed. Arya understood then that her loneliness had become a gift, not just for her, but for others. Because when someone learns to walk alone without bitterness, they show others how to do the same. As the years passed, Arya's steps grew slower. Her breath became softer, but her heart remained steady. One final morning, she walked the familiar path at dawn. The mist curled gently around her feet. The sky glowed with quiet promise. She did not feel afraid. She felt ready. Ready because she had listened. Ready because she had remembered herself. Ready because she understood that walking alone had never meant walking without God. When Arya finally rested, the path remained, empty, but full of meaning. And those who walked it after her felt something they could not explain. A reminder whispered into their hearts that loneliness is not always a sign of loss. Sometimes it is a sign of transformation. Sometimes when God removes the crowd, He is inviting you into a deeper conversation with yourself. So, if you are walking alone right now, if the world feels quieter than it used to, if people have stepped away and answers feel distant, do not rush to fill the silence. Do not assume you have been forgotten. Listen, because this may be the moment God is teaching you to hear your own heart. And once you learn that voice, you will never truly be lost again.